everyone to be here today. It's always nice and encouraging to see people that are passionate about more or less the same topics that I am. Because, for example, and Stina did a brilliant presentation, but I know 1/8 of what you said, because I am a clinical psychologist, so I know very few about technology anyway, so this is okay. So this is the work that I'm going to present you today, which is called Innovation Science, and it's the objective, the subject of this work is a framework that could digitally measure active mobility and mental health. As I said, I am a clinical psychologist, and my PhD is about active mobility. Active mobility can be defined as walking and cycling as a means of transport. So some people call it active transportation, some people call it active commuting, specifically it's to go from home to work and vice versa. But nowadays, active mobility is not just moving from point A to point B. It's actually being recognized as a strategy for public health, especially when it comes to physical health. So, for example, reducing the risk of cardiovascular diseases or diabetes, as well as for environmental health, because it reduces traffic and it improves air quality, etc. What is still uncertain is the relationship with mental health. So we know it's a form of physical activity, therefore it's supposed to be good for our mental health, but is it? My PhD journey started in 2022 with the goal of doing a systematic review of all the literature that had involved these two topics. And what I found was a mess. So the literature was very mixed. A bunch of methodologies, designs, and most of all, something that as a clinical psychologist I don't really appreciate is that all of this research was mainly conducted by a group of professional and scientists, but none of them had involved an expert in mental health. So how do you use tools about mental health without an expert that has studied and has been informed to do that? So my systematic review became a scoping review, which was published, and the results of this review actually brought me to the goal of the work that I'm presenting to you today, which was developing an evidence-based framework that could actually measure the mental health benefits of the active mobility, if there are any, because again, from the literature, what we could find is a very mixed situation. So I worked for 6 months with this Italian company called Steph Lux, which provides an online platform as well as a smartphone app called Spark to measure the sport performance, so the let's say physical activity side of the walking or the riding, and paired with Apple watches or Garmin watches, anyway, wearable devices that could actually record these activities. My work with them was about adding a mental health feature to this app as well as the platform with evidence-based, so scientific mental health items that could measure people's mental health status at the end of the activity. So we conducted a very small pilot study, and I developed these infographics in Italian, which is where I'm from and where I'm doing my PhD, and in English because I presented this work just like today with international participants to the pilot study and conferences as well. To help the participants in the pilot study to actually follow the framework, because one of our main concerns was that it was a little bit too complicated, and participants only had 10 days to learn how to use it and do it as well and provide us with the data. Anyway, what happened is that actually it worked. It worked in terms of improved awareness. So people actually said, I had no idea, or I had a very different idea of what active mobility was, and most of all, what its benefits are. And therefore, I am very motivated to integrate this activity into my lifestyle, which for us is a great success in terms of healthier lifestyle habits. And for us researchers, another great result was that all the participants showed and reported 100% satisfaction into using this tool. So it wasn't too hard or too complex as we thought. Well, looking at the future, we hope that we could share this framework with other researchers so that we all can do research on these crucial, vital topics in a proper way, bringing solid results that can be generalizable and that could involve as many people as possible, as diverse as possible. Also because, as the pilot study showed, just by doing research with this kind of interventions, people already are willing to change their lifestyle habits, which I think is important. And as an ultimate goal in my research is obviously, that's pretty much why today I'm here, to hosted by Sustainable Futures and Digital Futures, to bring to healthier cities, greener and built on us, on the humankind instead of on the motorized vehicles. Oh yes, I just added here on my slide the Warren Gregory's story. If you guys want to look up for him, he has a very incredible story. He is a USA man moved into the Netherlands. Something bad happened in his life, but it turned it into an amazing outcome. The Bible says something that I'm not going to spoil it for you. And yeah, thank you so much all for your attention and for being here today again. As I said, it's still a very ongoing process, so if anyone wants to get involved, both as a researcher and scientist or as a participant, please do contact me, LinkedIn, Instagram, my email, and I'll be happy to have a chat with you all. Thank you so much.
Does anyone have any questions?
I'll try it. I'm done, I forgot. Like, where are you doing this geographically? And do you think that there would be an impact if you were, say, cycling to work in Manchester, where our cycle routes are awful, compared to in somewhere like Amsterdam, where it's more prepared for it? What sort of, do you envisage that there would be an impact on mental health from that side of things? And could that then be used to influence policy?
Okay, that's a brilliant question. Yes, also broad. No, but thank you so much. So the pilot study was conducted in Bologna, which is in Italy, where again my PhD is from. And however, another layer, I am from the south of Italy. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Sicily. I'm from there, and already between Sicily and Bologna, there is a huge gap in terms of active mobility and public transportation. And then again, from Bologna to Manchester, it's another planet as well. It's interesting that you said that you have a horrible route or something like that. Yeah. But, and for me, it's actually like a diamond of this city, because from where I'm from, it's a completely different scenario. So it definitely depends on a lot on the local situation and also on cultural barriers, because not everyone is really willing to get on a bike and ride to work for cultural reasons. So I think that what's really important is, as I said, is use this type of framework with as many different populations as possible, so that the framework itself can be tailored to where you're actually doing it. Because yes, into the existing literature, there are some, for example, there was some research done in South America. I think it was maybe Brazil. Anyway, and for example, active mobility was associated with happiness and with enjoyment, whilst the car was associated with more stress, but it was also associated with luxury. So if you can afford a car, then you go with a car. If you can't, then you go with public transport or with your feet. And that obviously has an impact on mental health, because I practice active mobility because I'm poor and I can't afford, to pay insurance for my car. And so obviously, as you were saying, that definitely has to be looked at from that specific perspective. Thank you. All right, thank you so much, everyone.